Hello, my friends, and welcome back. We are still here at PlayStation Experience 2016 in Anaheim, California, and I'm joined by a very special guest. I'm joined by Mike Donatelli, the creative director of gaming at 6foot. Think I got all of that right?
I think you did.
You think? You don't even know. And we are talking about Dreadnought, which is going to be an open beta in PS4 next year. So welcome very much to the stage.
Oh, thank you. It's a real pleasure. This place is nuts. Like I said, I walked
Just looking
in,
out across the stage, yeah.
thousands and thousands and thousands. What it looks like the most passionate gamers I've seen to date.
Very passionate.
Yeah.
Because they're PlayStation gamers, of course.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me, first of all, Dreadnought is an incredible looking, very tactical, space. I don't want to call it a space simulation, but I think it plays into that a little bit. Do I need to wear an admiral's cap while I play? Is that mandatory?
Pretty much you fulfill the role of a mercenary ship captain.
Oh, so he's not an admiral.
Well, I mean,
all right.
You know what? There is captain progression in the game, so yes, someday you could achieve admiral status.
Okay, perfect. That's all I want.
But it's just like you said. It's team-based. It's a class. It's more of a class-based action vehicle game. It's team-based, so you get out there with your team of people. Like you said, it's very tactical. It is a game that you do battle with these gigantic, massive capital ships. You battle, again, the rings of Saturn. You battle in space. You battle more terrestrial, like on moon surfaces, so there's actually a floor. The space matches have a lot of 3D space. You're seeing some of that right now. So yeah, it's definitely, if you have a hankering for kind of that Battlestar Galactica vibe, if you remember back, you watched Battlestar Galactica, right?
A little?
Okay, well, back in the day.
The only episode I ever watched was the series finale.
All right,
so
excellent.
I kind of got jumped
but
in
again,
a little
okay,
bit.
so I'll take it back. We'll go super old school. Flash Gordon,
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Any of these
Of course.
great movies, right, have these bits where you're the captain of a ship, right? Whether it's the Millennium Falcon, whether it's the Pegasus in Battlestar Galactica, you have these giant, massive ships. You're firing off salvos of nukes. You have turrets, fleets of little fighters flying around. It's just it's an amazing game that I'm
It's spectacular,
absolutely.
and it's a spectacle.
It's a
and I
spectacle.
feel like that's kind of one of the things that your team and the team at Jaeger are trying to do here is create that almost sweeping, grandiose quality, right?
Well, that's for sure. Our publisher Graybox, it's their goal to focus on those kind of games. Jaeger has been working on this game for a few years, and they have a lot of experience, again, in console, and the game that you see on the floor, we're here. We announced today, we're here, we're actually on the floor. If you want to get out there and play it, you can. And when you get out there, you're seeing, a labor of love for Jaeger. We want to support them the best we can at 6foot, and, the proof's in the pudding. You go out there and look at the game on the floor, you're looking at it right here. This is gameplay.
Beautiful.
So
tell me a little bit about, I think you actually gave me an anecdote before the cameras came on in which this isn't like a traditional space combat game in which you're flying around in a starship and there's just constant action and it's very twitchy. This is, like I said, it kind of has a very measured, very deliberate pacing. You are a captain of a very, very large ship.
Yes.
How does that translate into the moment-to-moment gameplay?
The moment-to-moment gameplay is more. It's exactly what you said. It's more deliberate, right? You're making decisions. You come around. Let's just say, for argument's sake, this map that we're on here. It's a frozen moon. It's covered in ice. You have your ship come around a corner. You spot your enemy, and all of a sudden you see a Dreadnought firing a host of missiles, like more missiles than you can count. You
Do
see
the sound effects.
You can see, and they're coming towards you, and your crew is barking at you.
Is it that high pitched?
It's that,
okay.
And you see them coming.
Okay.
And it's not like, oh, I got shot and I'm dead.
Right.
It's like I've got a ton of hit points. I have shields. I can make power. I have an energy wheel, or I can put power to my shields, or to my weapons, or to my, or to just the engine, so I can try to get out of the way. But there's no getting out of the way of these missiles. So seeing that, it's like, oh well, what do I do? Anti-missile lasers. That'll take care of some of it. Throw all the energy to shields, and then bank the entire ship to the right to try to get behind this giant, massive structure that's on the planet's surface. It's that kind of deliberate reaction and response that makes the moment-to-moment gameplay super tight.
Now, what kind of, when you are talking about those decisions that you're making in combat, tell me a little bit about the specifics of like, what kind of control do you have over your ship? You were talking about an energy wheel, talking about obviously defensive systems. I mean, are there a bunch of different suites that you have control over at all times?
You absolutely do. In the game, and again, that we're going into beta in early 2017, so people can actually get in and try it. We have a lot of different tiers of ships, so when you get into the game, you get into a tier 1 ship. We have a Dreadnought, which is what you think it is, pretty beefy ship.
Title of the game also.
Yes.
Very fitting.
You have, you have tactical cruisers, which are more of kind of a repair ship. You have artillery cruisers, which act more like the class that would be like a stealth class, a sniper, a lot of front-end damage. You have a destroyer, which is kind of an all-purpose assault ship. I think I got them all. Dreadnought, destroyer.
There's 6, right?
No, there's 5. It's Dreadnought,
5.
a destroyer, tactical cruiser, an artillery cruiser, and the Corvette. Corvette's that guy, I think it's that little guy right there. And Corvette's kind of a scout ship, can do a lot of damage, get in and out real fast. And then you have control of these ships. You have a fleet of ships, right? So when you go into the game, it's not just you take a ship. You take a ship in with you from your fleet, and if you die, you then can change. Like, you have the ability to pivot, so you have more control over the game. Like, so if there's a lot of sniper ships, you can come in a Corvette and you can wreak havoc in the backfield, but you have that ability to swap ships on your fleet. But the specific ships themselves, they have primary and secondary weapons, they have modules, they have, which are defensive systems and offensive systems. You have an entire set of officer briefings.
They're so excited for those
officer briefings, right? Yes. So officer
there
briefings.
was cheering in the background.
So officer briefings, which are these passives that help you steer the ship faster, turn better, more repair, more, just perks really that are passive.
Right.
And then that gives you a lot of depth into each individual ship. And then as you go up in the tiers, as you progress in the game, you actually have access to more modules, more abilities, more things. And then when you get to tier 5 at the end game, now you're swapping modules from different destroyers, other destroyers. So it's got a lot of depth to it. Progression was key, a key focus for us. And
absolutely.
You're seeing it. Not seeing as much in the floor because you're playing in the floor, you're playing actual like tier 4 ships. You got a lot of abilities, a lot of weapons, a lot of hit points, do a lot of damage. So it's more of a representative of what you're going to get in tier 4, but it's still a ton of fun.
Okay, so then tell me, when we get into combat, tell me a little bit about the actual competition itself. Are you facing other players? Are you facing AI? Is there a campaign?
There is
there
training stuff you can absolutely do to get used to the ship and how they
So I'm not just at the keyboard like,
Yeah, I would definitely not recommend diving right in. Run through the tutorials, try the training, get into that. But we wanted to focus what you're seeing again on the floor and what you're going to see in the beta in early 2017 is a focus on the moment-to-moment gameplay. Matches last somewhere between 7 to 12 minutes, depending on how good or bad.
That's a good time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's snacky content you can get in.
Snacky.
Yeah, snacky. I don't know. I've heard that like 10 times this week, so I'm using it.
That's like the first time I think I've heard specifically snacky.
Snacky content.
I've heard munchable.
Munchable?
No, I've never heard that.
All right,
well,
just
throwing that out there.
I was going to be kind. I don't want to pursue the munchable, but let's go snacky, chunky, bite size.
Bite
I've heard that.
No, bite size.
Bite
I have
size
heard. Okay.
So no, you get in
bite size matches.
Let me tell you a not pre-canned anecdote. This actually happened to me.
Okay.
So I'm in a destroyer and I'm on this map right here, and I'm coming around the side of this giant asteroid, and I see this other destroyer that's being repaired. Tactical cruiser's got repair pods out and they're beam repairing the ship and it's trying to regen its shields, and I'm like, oh man, it's all mine, right? So I come around the corner and I have these modules that we were talking about earlier where it's like weapon booster, and I fire torpedo salvo and all these flechette missiles, and then or a nuke. I have a nuke. So I fire this nuke, right? But it can kill me. So I quick throw all my energy wheel into reverse into the engines, and I'm backing up trying to get around because the nuke's gonna hit him, and I'm like, right as I turn around the corner, I hit him, I destroy the destroyer, and I get the medic in there to boot, which is great. But I'm damaged from the exchange, and they see me now, so I have a Corvette come around the corner, and I'm like, well, I used another module that lets my recast come up faster, so I have my torpedoes up again.
Okay.
So I fire the torpedoes, he eats every one of them coming around the corner, he throws his shields up so he didn't die, and I'm like, and then that was it, right? So it gives that idea of...
But that was it?
Well,
you can't just stop at the end of the story like that.
Well, that was it for me. He just then some loops around me and took me out, which was it's his purpose, his role.
Part of the game.
Part of the thing, but then when I die, I come back in, now I choose a different class. So then I chose a healer myself, and I went to our Dreadnought and started healing him. So what I'm saying is, the ship-based combat's super fun, and there's a lot going on. But then if you are in the middle of a match and you're like, you know what, I'm not really jiving on the sniper ship. I'm going to jump into a Corvette and start going out. And maybe they have a bunch of Corvettes, and you're like, oh, they keep killing my sniper. I'm going to come in a destroyer that's got all these anti-short-range weapons that can cover the. Anyway, there's a lot of tactical choices to make.
You're like, anyway.
Well, actually, like I said, I'm super happy to talk to you. I love being here at PSX.
Well, thanks. And we're super happy to have you guys here.
As soon as we're done, I'm walking right back to the booth, and I'm going to sit right back down and play the game some more because.
Okay. And you're going to boot some loyal PlayStation fan out of the way. You're going to kick them.
No.
Take their spot.
I'm a chatty Cathy, so I'll sit there and shoot the.
Now, tell me if this may be totally inaccurate. Was there talk in the? Did you talk about your business model and the game's business model in the blog post? Forgot if you guys talk about that or not.
I think we did talk about it.
Not something you want to elaborate on now?
Well, I can tell you this.
Okay.
This is what I'm allowed to talk about.
Okay, do that.
And then I'll talk more about stuff I'm not allowed to, because this is the nature.
And then Sean's gonna come rearing up the stairwell.
He's gonna haul ass up
put you in a headlock.
We are free to play.
Okay.
We wanted to get the reach out there. I want as many people to play the game as possible. Of course, there will be a way to monetize the game, because you want the game to survive and have a future.
Exactly. And for the studio to not just collapse in on itself.
That would be great. Like a black hole.
Like a black hole that's
space.
Is that in the game? I don't know if black hole. Okay.
So.
You can pilot a black hole. That might be DLC.
Maybe a bridge too far. It may be a bridge too far.
I don't think that makes sense.
Not for this game, no. This game takes place in our solar system, so there's a lot. But anyway, you asked about the experience. It's free to play for sure. There is a system to make revenue, but you'll see more of that when we come out into the beta. We've been testing it really well. It's tested very well. It gives we wanted to make sure that players had we wanted to make sure the players had the ability. Anybody could just come in and play the game and have a great time. They didn't have to actually spend money if they didn't want to, and that we were making sure we avoided pay to win kind of stuff at all costs. Jaeger was super high on that. We're big on that, and Greybox was absolutely adamant about we didn't want to do a pay-to-win situation. We want everybody to play Dreadnought.
Absolutely. Now tell me this, and it's okay if you can't answer.
All right.
But could I just pay a copious amount of money to put a little Santa hat on my cap?
All right. All right. Fine.
Can it be done?
No, you can't. But I want to tell you why. Tell you why. And it's something I've always said. Establish your IP, Dreadnought, which is a fairly serious, it's Dreadnoughts. It's thousands of people on a ship being burned.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know, maybe I got too dark.
That went really dark, really fast. I was talking about a Santa hat, man.
No, that's too lightweight.
Okay, I see.
Now,
that's your point. Is there
going to be a winter event that has really, really cool pieces for your ship to
maybe?
Yes, there is that kind of stuff. Okay. We want you to personalize your ships, make it your own, rename it, vanity stuff for your captain and your ship. But we wanted to keep it in the we wanted
keep
to
it in
really
the canon
stick
of
the
Dreadnought.
Of the whole thing.
Yes. I like how we keep gesturing at the TV. This is Dreadnought. Mike, thank you so much for being here. You very accurately and very skillfully mentioned several times during the interview, but I will reiterate for our audience at home that Dreadnought is going to enter open beta not open beta, just beta.
Beta, I'm not entirely sure.
We're not entirely sure. Let's just say it's entering beta on PS4 early next year.
When?
Early next year?
Yeah, that's right. Early 2017.
Early 2017.
I do remember that now.
So everyone stay tuned for more on Dreadnought. And if you're, of course, here in Anaheim, play Dreadnought because they can.
Come to the booth. Sign up for the beta. It's going to be awesome.
But for those who are not here at home, for those who are not here and are at home, we obviously have much more content for you coming from PlayStation Experience 2016. Thank you so much for joining us. Do not go anywhere. Stay with us.
PlayStation